What is up, guys? What is up? Bobo here, BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back for a little bit more popping coins. Little BrassReel tonight live stream. Immediate reaction. See, I'm winging it over here right now. House sitting again for my mom and my stepdad, and got the smoke going right here. Got the smoke fog machine. Hopefully, this smoke alarm doesn't go off again. But anyways, I just want to give my immediate reaction real quick. Tonight, I just saw the Terrifier 2. Oh man, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Terrifier, the original one, but it was a very grindhousey movie that was just super, super gory. One of the goriest movies I've ever seen. And honestly, it was more like a showcase of special effects than anything. It wasn't necessarily like the greatest story in the world, but it was really just like awesome, practical, gory visual special effects. And you have Art the Clown. And Art the Clown, which is this guy right here on the right, he's definitely crept his way into the horror icons as far as like he's kind of up there with, obviously he's not equivalent to Jason and Freddy and Michael and stuff like that, but he's made his way into the territory. And now, people are kind of starting to be familiar with Art the Clown. You'll see people dressed up as him as Halloween. They're even selling some of his products in Walmart and stuff like that. But as far as costumes and just figures and themed things with Art the Clown, but overall, this is definitely a certain brand of horror. It's a lot of gore. The first one was extremely low budget, and you could kind of tell. This one definitely is a lot better. Uh, it has way more to offer as far as the gore is concerned. I mean, they just go what if you didn't think they could go even further than what they did in the first one, they go further. But what's better about this one is you could tell that they were dealing with more money, a bigger production, so it works a little better. And honestly, instead of it, one of those things where it's like, oh, it's not quite as good as the first one. I actually feel like Damien Leone or Leone, he found his way with this one. This is Art the Clown at his finest. He was the funniest in this, but it wasn't silly. It was the perfect blend of him being even funnier than he was in the past, but even being more sadistic and more scary. Uh, I had a blast with this movie. I highly recommend it. But look, only if you're into that sort of grindhouse sleaze of horror. This is definitely that. It's very much that sleazy grindhouse vibe. Even the way that the film grain looks, the way it's actually filmed, the quality of the film look, it actually looks like it's actual film and not digital. I'm sure it's digital with some sort of filter, but it does look like it's older. It's got an extremely 80s soundtrack. In fact, it starts off with The Midnight, which is one of my favorite bands, but they're sort of underground. And the fact that that was in here immediately, it was just like, all right, that gave me good vibes about this movie. But one of the best ways I can compare this movie to, and I had these vibes the whole way through, was if you guys are Phantasm fans, this movie, I don't know if you remember, it was years before Phantasm 2 came out, but Phantasm 2, by the time it came out, the first one had developed a huge cult following. So there was a big uproar with Phantasm 2, people going to see it in the theater. And I got to see Terrifier 2 tonight in the theater, and it's only going to be in the theater tomorrow night as well. And then it's going straight to Screenbox because this was like a Screenbox / Bloody Disgusting original. But the fact that I got to see it with a lot of people that showed up for this thing, and you could tell they were all horror fans, and the fact that we got to see it with a lot of people that were having fun while we were watching it, people were being really interactive with the movie, but not ruining the movie. You know what I mean? It was just right. It really added to the experience. It was a lot of fun. And Art the Clown, man, he brought it. I mean, just brutal, brutal slayings on screen, and you see it all. I can't even. I'm not doing it justice how brutal it is, and it's well done too. And I remember there's this girl and this other. It's two girls. They were a couple. It seemed like, and one of them seemed to be totally into horror, was all up in it, knew all of her shit when it came to horror movies. And the other girl next to her seemed to be a little just aloof and be like, so what movie is this we're watching again? And I wanted to be like, you don't know what you're about to watch. I mean, the first movie, Terrifier, has the scene where he cuts a girl in half from she's hanging upside down, and he cuts her from between her legs, going all the way down to through her head with a hacksaw, and it is brutal. And the way Art the Clown is like laughing the whole time, like he treats his murders and his death and when he kills people like a joke, like he just landed a joke, like a clown doing a little practical joke or something. But these deaths are like that to him, and he gets a kick out of it, and it was just really well done. I am all about this movie. I'm gonna watch it again. I would go see it again if I had the opportunity, but it's not gonna be theaters long enough. I'll definitely be watching it on Screenbox. This is one that I will own. Sure, Shout Factory is going to make a version of it, but I highly, highly recommend going to see Terrifier 2 if you're into grindhouse sleaze horror. Let me reiterate, if you like grindhouse sleaze horror and you love old school like giallo films, which by the way, this has a lot of that vibe as far as the way they treat the horror and even the way the camera works at some points. It has that vibe to it. And you're gonna be satisfied if you're looking for some gore on screen. And what's better about this one compared to the first one is that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked the first one a lot, but this one added more story. This one added a little bit more of a cohesive film, and it felt like an actual movie, and it added more to the lore of Art the Clown, and it added more to the lore of um just the whole Terrifier franchise in general. It didn't go too off the rails. Kind of lost me, not lost me. I felt like it was just a little bit too long towards the end. It could have maybe been tightened up, but that didn't ruin it for me because the kills and what you're getting the whole way through with Art the Clown is so gratifying and just so awesome. And to have that much fun with a horror movie around Halloween time with the crowd in the theater like this, and it was really good. So if you're into this type of stuff, like I says, like Death Proof and stuff like that, excuse me, Planet Terror, things like that, and and like I said, giallo films, like this guy's name's Damien Leone or Leone, I don't know how it's pronounced, but I mean, looks just just like that's just like a giallo filmmaker, with Sergio Leone and then like Lucia Fulci and Dario Argento and just all that kind of stuff. So this has elements of that, but they really amplified it. Like I said, the comparison for me is sort of like the way Phantasm 2 felt compared to Phantasm 1. They really just really flushed out the character of Art the Clown this time around. So if you guys want to go see some sleazy smut horror, I totally recommend it. I'm going to do a full-on review about the specifics that I really liked and show stuff, clips and everything. But I just wanted to give my immediately straight out of the theater reaction. Like I literally just got back from this screener of it. So thought it'd be fun to kind of do this for Halloween. All right, guys. Well, hey, I'm just going to wrap that up, and hopefully I'll see y'all soon when I'm talking about my next one. And I'm going to do a review for this one very quickly. Like maybe it might be even my next video the next day or two. So happy Halloween, guys. Hope y'all having a good one. Remember, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns. Oh, yeah.